Oh, it is Dr. Cinema. The Hellraiser franchise hasn't had the best history, but there is definitely good in here. So, for those of you that don't know, the 10th installment of the Hellraiser franchise is going to be coming out in a couple days, so I figured I might as well rank the previous 9. Now, Hellraiser, despite the bad installments, has become as iconic as Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and the Halloween franchises. So, before the 10th installment comes out, time to rank the other 9. This is my ranking of the 9 Hellraiser films. Now, at the very bottom, Hellraiser Revelations. This is the 9th installment and came out in 2011, and it was the first film to not have the hold on, Doug Bradley, I think it's called. I God, the name's on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, Doug Bradley. This is the first film where Doug Bradley does not return to play the iconic Pinhead. And oh boy. So this film is has been said to be only exist because the studio Dimension Films needs to hold on to the rights of the franchise. And while that could be said for some of the other sequels, Revelations is definitely the most obvious about it. And they got to play Pinhead instead of Doug Bradley. He looks like a goddamn cosplayer, a bad cosplayer. Although I suppose I can't really blame like the people working directly with the film, surprisingly, because ever since the Hellraiser films went direct to video, the studios give the people that make the films very limited resources and very limited time to pull it off. So, oh my god, this is still bad. This is the worst of the franchise. Alright, number 8. Hellraiser Hellseeker. This is the 6th installment of the franchise. Now, this one tries to connect to the earlier films by having one of the main characters play an adult version of Kirsty Cotton, the main protagonist of the first 2 films. It doesn't work. I mean, they have her be married to a guy, and Kirsty Cotton apparently makes a deal with Pinhead to trade 5 souls and freedom of her own, which is a really weird deal. Just doesn't really make sense, and it's also one of those films where it's like, surprise, you're in hell the entire time kind of thing. It's not even really focused on Kirsty Cotton as the main character. It's her parent, husband, cheating husband. It's just, what the hell? Pun not intended. Alright, number 7 is Hellraiser Deader. No, but I did not misspoke. That is the actual title of the film. Really grammatically correct. So this is actually the 7th installment of the franchise. Focuses on a reporter who's trying to investigate this cult that worships the puzzle box that summons the Cenobites and Pinhead, and it's actually led by a guy that's supposed to be the descendant of the puzzle box creator, but needs someone to open it for him. This is, I guess, an attempt to combine like the Hellraiser mythology with the H.P. Lovecraft mythology in a little bit, but it is weird. First of all, why does the descendant of the puzzle box creator need someone else to open it for him? Doesn't really make sense. And the cult, the Deaders, really? That's the best you can come up with? It's just, it's forgettable. It's very forgettable. Alright, number 6. Hellraiser Inferno. This is the 5th installment of the franchise, and it's actually the first to be direct to video. And it's not as bad as the other ones. it focuses on a cop that's falling like a serial killer, but of course, very much like Hellseeker, it's the hey, Trick, you've been in hell the entire time, and here is a brief cameo from Pinhead. If this film took out the Hellraiser elements, but still made like a supernatural kind of thing, this probably would have just been decent enough, but trying to put in the Hellraiser trademarks and characteristics is like trying to make God Particle the Cloverfield paradox. It's just why. But I suppose there might be a couple people here that might find this film to be a tad underrated. So that's what I have to say about that. Alright, number 5. Hellraiser Hellworld. This is the 8th installment. And it's actually so bizarre that it's actually kind of slightly entertaining. Now, this is focusing on a group of kids that apparently there's an RPG online game based on the Hellraiser mythos within this Hellraiser movie, which is a little meta. It's just really bizarre as well. And believe it or not, Superman is in this movie. Henry Cavill plays one of the teenagers. What? It's it's wow. I don't know if I ever meet Henry Cavill. I want to ask him about Hellworld and what he thinks about that. But so bizarre that it's actually slightly entertaining. Alright, time for number 4. Hellraiser Bloodline. Now this is the 4th installment of the franchise, and the last to actually get a theatrical release. I can understand why some people actually like this film. And for me, it's just bad enough. I mean, that's basically, I'm not really that big of a fan of horror movies that have to end up going to space. Don't get me wrong, there are exceptions. Ridley Scott's Alien film is a prime example of that. But for every alien, there's like 10 movies like Leprechaun in Space that just happened. And this 4th film, when it went to space, kinda not do it for me. But again, it's not really as bad as the other later sequels. Number 3. Hellraiser Hell on Earth. The 3rd installment of the franchise. Now, this is the one that tried to make Pinhead a more center stage character like slasher films try to do. And it is very 90s influence once you actually see the film. But this one does have its fair amount of supporters, which is enjoyable to watch, I'll give it that. But I'm still not quite sure how I feel about this one. It's just, I mean, it's really trying to be part of the Hellraiser universe, and it does kind of work, but it's just really different from the other 2 films. Oh well. Number 2. Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. It's a classic. In certain respects, this is the best of the franchise in terms of visuals and expanding mythology in the universe. And it's really very intriguing, keeps you hooked. But there's only one true king of the Hellraiser franchise, and that is the original Hellraiser. This is the best of the franchise at the end of the day, and it's personally my favorite horror movie of all time. You just have to watch it. The first 2 films are on Netflix. Watch it. You'll know what I mean. And so that's my ranking. And you know that once the 10th installment, Hellraiser Judgement, comes out, I will be talking about it. So, like, comment, subscribe, share. Dr. Cinema. See you next time.